Hi guys, it's Bran. We had a different episode planned for today. We happen to have 2 episodes in the can that involved movies that starred Ed Asner, so it made perfect sense to move those episodes up. We hope you love it. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you to Ed for such an amazing career, and we hope you enjoy the show. Rest in peace, Ed. This is a Bramble Jam podcast. Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Lifetime Bayou Christmas movies.
Well, hey now there, I'm Dan.
Oh, hey.
I despise them Bayou Christmas movies.
I'm Alonzo, and I guarantee that I don't see me some Lifetime Bayou movies, and this
is a Deck the Hallmark podcast. Oh,
man. Christmas on the Bayou, everybody.
That's right.
Our deepest apologies to the entire state of Louisiana for that last bit and for the next hour, frankly.
I would.
There's nothing we can do about that.
I can also. Can we apologize to Foghorn Leghorn while we're at it, and just all of them across the board? And you started normal and then slipped into the Bayou.
I remembered where we were heading.
This whole movie reminded me, Alonzo, of the SNL skit Maine Justice. Have you seen Maine Justice? The sketch?
No, I thought you were going to talk about when Heidi Gardner does that. Have you been to Nolans?
No, but if you've not seen the sketch Maine Justice, it is sheer lunacy, but it's wonderful. Jason, it takes place in Maine, but it's all people from Louisiana. So it is. That's
it's
exactly
a courtroom full of Katrina transplants.
That's right, and so Sudeikis is this judge, and the guest is always the bailiff. So once it was Timberlake, and once it was Jamie Foxx, and it is the weirdest, dumbest. One of my most favorite things.
And the person
in the world.
That's getting sued always doesn't know what's going on.
The person that's getting sued, the plaintiff, no, the defendant is always from Maine, and then everyone else. So the plaintiff is like in a full like church hat and like full dress and like full Southern, and the defendant is from Maine. Like, what is happening right now in this courtroom? Just look up Maine Justice after this.
I will.
Please do.
I was just trying to channel a little Paul Prudhomme there.
Yeah, that's right, Chef Paul Prudhomme. That's right.
Guys, we're in October. We are mere weeks to 2 weeks.
2 weeks from today. The marathon will have already been done. We're fewer than 2 weeks from the marathon right now.
Amazing.
Gearing up.
Amazing. So it's hard to believe you can kind of. Oh, is that some gingerbread?
Dude, when they release
some pine trees.
When you went back to the Bayou there briefly.
Once you're there, it's hard to get out.
When they
when
they released the Countdown to Christmas schedule,
of course,
you were blown away.
Blown away.
I mean, some of your faves.
Guys,
we don't want to talk about them now, but some of the things that you're excited about.
It's going to be a year.
And you told me circle that first weekend in December. That's what you told me. You said it's where people sleep on it, but you love all the choices.
You know what? I am disappointed. No Ron Oliver Christmas movie on Hallmark this year, but Peacock. Very excited about that.
There is Christmas in London.
Yeah, no, I just got confirmation.
Really? Okay, but Ron Oliver,
they took it out of the schedule. It's next year, Dan. Trust me.
Peacock's first original Christmas movie. Have you heard this yet, Alonzo?
Oh yeah.
The Real Housewives of the North Pole. Boy, come on. I mean, a Ron Oliver joint on Peacock. Let's go.
When I heard the news, I texted Ron and I just said, thank God for Peacock.
That's right. Thank God.
Thank God for streaming services that just need stuff.
Mm-hmm. Betsy Brandt and Alec Mappa. I mean,
every streaming service is at the point where it's just like, well, I guess we got to, right? Like we got to do something.
We need to have things.
It would appear that Christmas is a thing.
Yeah. Let's get on that train before it's too late.
Christmas on the Bayou got on that train.
Asner Fest, baby. We're in the middle of it.
What a real cast list in this movie. I didn't see it coming. I'm excited to talk about it. You guys ready to dive in?
Hilarie, Burton, Morgan, Ed Asner, Randy Travis.
Of
the late great Marky Post.
Marky Post, that's right, from Night Court.
Let's talk about it. It originally aired on December 14th, 2013. And it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with a girl running down a Christmas-decorated road in a dress and cowboy boots in slow motion, so you know you're in for a doozy. She runs up to a boy and they almost kiss, but he gets distracted by some boats with Christmas lights, as you do when you're about to kiss a girl as a teenage boy. She walks away and flash forward 20 years. Catherine is a workaholic who can't even find time to do her own Christmas shopping for her kid, Zach. She's worn out and she decides, I'm going to go take my kid down to the Bayou and spend Christmas with my mom. She reconnects with that almost kiss kid from the beginning. He's all grown up and his name is Caleb, and he is still very clearly into her. But she's just not having it. We find out that her husband, who she was married to, Zach's dad, just up and left. She can't find it in her to risk that again. She's playing it's very safe. No more men here in my life. I just gotta protect Zach. They do end up kissing big ones though one night, and then she pulls away. She's like, I can't do it again. Zach gets close to a guy named Papa Noel, who literally turns water to hot cocoa. So I think there's a chance that he's the real deal. Zach really loves it down at the Bayou, and with a little help from Papa Noel, he sings in the pageant, does a great job. Woo-hoo, Zach. Caleb continues to shoot his shot and tries to take her out on a boat. She's like, Caleb, I can't. So he's like, okay, one last try here. I will buy your son a tablet that you cannot find anywhere. And she's like, wow, this is great. Still no. She gets a call from work and she gets a big promotion. And she's like, oh man, I got to go back to New York right now on Christmas Eve. She tells Zach's not having it, and she's like, but the money. And he's like, I don't care about the money. All I want is my mom. And that was a big moment for her. She decides that she's going to stay at the Bayou and work with Randy Travis. She's going to give Caleb that shot, and we're all better for it. And that, my friends, was Christmas on the Bayou.
Well, we did it. For as much as that happened in that movie, your synopsis was truncated, I feel like. I feel like it was really just...
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, you just...
Did I miss anything?
There's a whole pageant.
I mentioned the pageant.
Pageant's a pretty big part.
I mentioned the pageant.
Did you mention what happens in the pageant?
That the boy sings at the pageant thanks to Papa Noel?
Okay. All right. You nailed it.
It's all there, Dan.
Okay. It's airtight.
There is a lot that happens, but it kind of Caleb shooting his shot happens throughout the movie. Yeah. I did the best I could.
There is, of course, a website, because there's always a website.
There's always a website.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down, I think, with
We're
4
going to
seconds.
break this down.
And we'll be right back here on Egg Dahmer.
It
Right
sounded
before
like during the break, Tracy was swatting a fly there or something.
I tell you.
Skeetos.
The Bayou took over. What can you do now?
I don't know what specifically is offensive about Tracy doing an accent, but it just is. I don't know why. Something. Yes. That's right. Yeah,
it's always something with you guys.
That's right.
Let's talk about Christmas on the Bayou. Very excited to break this movie down. Ed Asner, we did an Asner joint last week.
Right.
Christmas
Star,
and we had to do one. And we've now done one. I know we've not done all of them, but
we've done The Gathering. We've done the Christmas Star. We've done this Christmas on the Bayou. We've done.
We're taking care of business. We're doing the best we can. Maybe one day we'll get to all of his Christmas movies.
Man.
Christmas on the Bayou. Let's break this movie down. We're going to start with a hot take. I'm going to start with my good friend Alonzo. Alonzo, had you seen this movie before? What'd you think of it? All of the above.
I had not seen this one before. This one is... It is very much following the classic, overworked big city lady returns to small town and rekindles relationship with high school sweetheart. And, as far as that blueprint goes, it handles it okay. But, it really punishes the woman for being too careerist and not mom enough. Mm-hmm. It offers this thing of well, of course you can give up your promotion in New York City because you have an entire house waiting for you in Louisiana to go live in and, work for peanuts, creating a website for Randy Travis's, dry goods emporium.
And also, and I want to check my notes here, have enough money in the bank to buy half of that emporium.
Yes, exactly. And then, of course, there is the whole weird, little kid has friendship with old man no one else can see in a shack on the Bayou thing, which could really, this is Lifetime, and if it were any time but Christmas, that's going to go south real fast. It's, I don't know. I cringed more than I enjoyed, I have to say.
You bring up a lot of good points, Alonzo. None of which matter to Bran, because I loved every second of it. I mean, I was pretty in, from the start, and then when Santa turned water into hot cocoa, okay, yeah. I'm in for all of this.
He went full Santa Jesus there.
Yes, it was phenomenal, and so I loved that. It gave me. There's not a lot of. It's hard for a movie in the South to give me a lot of Christmas feels because there's not going to be the snow and all that stuff. But this movie managed to do that quite well, I feel like. I got Christmas feels. I just thoroughly enjoyed this movie and the trip that it took me down. And so overall, a thumbs up for Bran.
Yeah, I would say I'm closer to Alonzo on this, but higher on it than I thought I would be. I feel like there's a lot here that's terrifying. I think just so we're clear, it is. But there's also a lot here to recommend. First of all, it's a movie shot in the South with people using real Southern accents. It is not a Hallmark, hey, this is about Texas barbecue. We shot it in British Columbia. Enjoy. It's not that. It feels very real. Ed Asner's doing an accent. Pretty much everybody else is it's not over the top. Go ahead, Alonzo.
Let's put a pin in that Ed Asner accent, and we'll come back.
The Ed Asner accent is one of a kind. He went method from what I understand. He did a lot of Papa Noel research. You had to call him Papa In or Papa Noel offset even. But everybody else, like Hilarie Burton's from the South. These people are not overreaching with their accents. It seems they shot it in the town that it's based in, and so that's all very fun. And I appreciated their just sense of place and purpose in the movie. Ed Asner does get some really fun scenes in this movie. Other people do see him at the end, which I think is important, because if they don't, and the kid is the only one that sees him, then it becomes a little bit more. Yeah. But yeah, I think there were parts of it that worked for me, and I think feeling like people were treating the South with some level of decency, save for the Papa Noel thing, which is interesting in and of itself. Yeah, it's not as good as Snowed In Christmas or Love at the Christmas Table or any of those, but it could have been way worse. It's different enough. And then you got the two leads from One Tree Hill who acted next to each other. We are all mega
fans too.
For 6 or 7 years. They're huge tree heads here. But apparently Tyler Hilton and Hilarie Burton, that was the big draw of the movie, was the fact that those two were on screen together for years and years. So they know what they're doing. It's whatever. It wasn't nearly as...
Is Tyler Hilton a Hilton?
I don't think he's a Hilton. No. He's a music guy now. He's a singer from what I understand. But he those two were good. I thought Hilarie Burton was great, and especially saddled with the terrible, this poor woman's worked so hard, she hasn't been a good mom, which is an awful, awful storyline. And then there's things about this movie that don't work at all, but it's definitely lots to, in my opinion, lots to recommend, but also lots to say, yeah, this is the problem with most of these movies. So that's where I lay with it.
Well, let's get to feels. Let's talk about the Christmas feels or the feels in general that we had. Alonzo, what you got?
Well, I will say, if you're one of those people for whom these movies live or die by how much do I care about the central relationship, how much chemistry does the couple have, they're perfectly charming. Yeah. Despite I think the movie is punishes her a lot, her relationship with the dude is charming, and they're fine together. I kind of got House Lights feels.
Yeah.
I have to say, when they plug in those lights and the house is just covered, that's that moment that a lot of these movies aim for and maybe do or don't hit it, or sometimes maybe even over hit it, where it's okay, what team of professionals came in and did this? But this legit just seemed like this guy did a really good job putting lights on their house, and it's a moment that gave me definitely a little Christmas whoosh.
Yes. Yeah, I love when they do to do like that. They plug it in, and then the camera just kind of goes down the line of the people looking at it, like they did in this movie. It just gives you a nice like, this is real good. And it's kind of like you're there, and I love it.
They give Spielberg face.
Yes, yes.
Man, listen, Papa Noel. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I loved it. I loved it. I am true to who I am, which is a lover of magic, and boy, is there magic.
Oh,
in
there's
this
magic in this movie.
I loved it, and so it made me so happy the whole time when he was doing what he was doing.
The one scene that really worked for me with him and the kid is when it goes full magic. He turns water into hot chocolate, and the kid's like, what's going on? And every other movie just like winks and just like plays around the fringes of this.
Right.
And he just looks that kid in the eye and he goes, I'm Santa Claus. Yeah. I thought that was wonderful. Like, that is everything. Like, the kid doesn't believe in Santa Claus. He watches water turn into hot chocolate. And then the guy just looks at him, he's like, I'm Santa Claus. Mic drop. I thought that was great. I thought that was wonderful. That's how you play that scene. Much better than this, like, who is this weird guy? Like,
True.
You just say he's Santa, straight up.
He is Papa Noel, child psychologist.
That's right. And I will say, like, your favorite narrative movie of the year was Driveways with Brian Dennehy and
Yes.
directed by Andrew Ahn. And it is a wonderful movie. And this movie obviously is not that movie, nor does it even try to have any sort of ounce of subtlety about it. But if you like the moments between those two, I think you really should. Another reason to just go and see Driveways, which is find it on Prime or wherever and watch it. Because there are a few moments in this movie where it's like, this is what this kid needs. And that would be my other feels is they do a good job of making a kid who's realistic to his plight in life. Now, isn't necessarily the best acting job, I don't know, but what this kid's going through works. Like, he's getting picked on at school, he's getting picked on in soccer, he's getting picked on all these places, and in his world is very small, and it all is breaking. And so the scene where he sings at the pageant and he's a bad singer, but they like it anyway, that worked for me too. Like, those two things really worked for me in this movie.
Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with the Wait What's in the Once in a Lifetime.
Once in a lifetime.
And more.
Ooh.
I don't know. Here on Dick Dollenberg. Get it.
It's not the fact that there's a bug in the studio, whatever. It is the fact that Trace waits until the break to swat at said bug.
I think she thinks the mic's automatically mute when we play the little.
She's been producing us for years.
Yep.
It's never been a problem.
There's a skeeter in the studio, but you don't have to swat at it only when it lands on the microphone.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Skeeter.
Alonzo, pipe down. Go kick rocks.
I'm glad Kick Rocks is taken
Shove
off.
off.
Shove off, yeah. That's right.
Get bent.
Get bent. Yeah.
It's time for the Wait What part of the show where we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? Alonzo.
Well, okay, this is a dumb thing, but it caught my attention immediately. So we open with the flashback, and there's the big banner about the Papa Noel and the boat parade and yada da da. And then we flash forward 20 years or whatever, and it's the exact same banner.
That's right.
Like, no sun
That's right.
damage.
No.
The time hasn't changed. No,
Gosh,
they
no.
just trot that baby out again, and it's still
Way it
perfectly
should be.
intact.
Yep.
I'm going to posit that if you have a child who cannot swim, you're maybe not going to let that kid run around a large body of water unsupervised.
One with gators, per se.
With gators as well, yeah. So, call me alarmist, but I'm just thinking that most parents would maybe think twice about just sort of like turning the other way while their kid just goes romping around the marshes.
This is why the small town's better, Alonzo. Like, we don't have the big city worries about crime.
Not only could the kid
we leave
not
our doors
swim,
unlocked. We cut our
Yes.
kids loose on the street. It just
They
is
can
better.
fall down wells, but at least they won't be mugged.
That's right.
If
Yes.
a gator gets you, you probably deserved it. That's the small town for you. Small
right.
town South.
It's the charm of Southern
right.
living,
Had what's coming to you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Cajun Lou Grant. We have to talk about this. I adore Ed Asner. I think he's great. He's a great Twitter follow if you aren't doing that already. Dave and I have been for the last, I don't know how many months, I've been rewatching the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which is, an all-time gem of television. He is, I got to meet him a couple years ago at a film festival for a documentary about his life. He was charming and funny and just everything you would want Ed Asner to be. So I say this as a dyed-in-the-wool fan when I say, what is up with that accent? I think every great artist has maybe just certain limitations, and we now know what Ed Asner's is.
He was 84 years old when he filmed the movie. 84.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? I could phone this in and talk like Ed Asner, or I could go whole hog. I could go absolute full Cajun Lou Grant.
He commits.
Yes,
for sure.
He commits. I actually saw full Cajun Lou Grant live. It was a heck of a show.
The great thing about Ed Asner is just as he is.
The chicken wings were really
They
great.
were unreal.
Just
it's a buffet. They play right by the buffet.
Of course.
Yeah, right up front.
It's like a 360 buffet.
Yeah.
The thing about Ed Asner is
in the middle, there's like crawfish everywhere. I got it all set up in my head. Full Cajun Lou Grant, man,
I love it.
one of a kind.
The thing about Ed Asner is, as he is, just in general, I never know where he's from. Like he could have just said his
from
words.
Middle America somewhere. I'm pretty sure he's from like one of these places where you can have an accent or not.
Yeah, he could have just said his words.
St. Louis.
I want to say he's the child of Russian immigrants, but I don't quote me on that one. I'd have to look it up.
We are everywhere from Middle America to Russia, so that's where we're at.
All right, I know where he was born. Anybody final guesses where he was born?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Let's go Idaho.
I said St. Louis. It's Kansas City, Missouri.
Ooh,
Kansas City, Missouri. So right in the middle there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
I like that he went for it. It made me happy.
I mean, he's 84. Whatever performance he gives, the director's not going to be like, hey, I got a few notes, Ed. Are you kidding me? You're on my Lifetime movie.
He agreed
Great
to
job, full Cajun Lou Grant.
No, absolutely. He's a legend, no question. And I mean, like I didn't want to count this as a feel because it's not anything the movie necessarily did, but I watched this movie the day that it was announced that Markie Post had passed away.
Oh, wow.
And while I was watching the movie, I happened to look at Twitter, and Ed Asner tweeted about having worked with her on the TV show Hearts of Fire.
Wow.
So it was like, it all kind of came together in this weird way.
I do hate that Markie Post and he really don't ever get a scene together. Which
Not in this one, no.
I feel like they do this thing, and it's kind of a wait what, but like Randy Travis came in for a day or two for his scenes, and then Ed Asner came in for 3 or 4 days for his scenes, and we never get to see Ed with Markie Post and the gang. I thought that would have been fun. So,
am I wrong? Did you guys pick up a vibe that they were trying to set up some sort of romance between Markie Post and Randy Travis?
Absolutely.
And then that just never goes anywhere?
That's in the sequel. It's in the sequel. Christmas the Bayou 2. Gators Crossing.
Still on the Bayou.
Yeah, still on the Bayou.
The idea that her big idea for a store is, have you thought about a website? Which they can't not do it in these
2013
movies.
got to
always happening. But the fact that website goes up and within days his store is packed with out of towners.
Yeah. We did a movie all the way back in August.
All the way back.
Yeah, Eve's Christmas.
Yes.
And the same thing happened.
Never fails.
12-hour turnaround in 1996.
Man.
12-hour turnaround on that.
The magic of the internet.
The point of opening an online store is actually just to get people into your brick and mortar.
That's the key.
That's actually
that's
the
sure.
point.
Yeah. That's how you do it, for sure.
No question. That's it. That's what I got.
I appreciate a few things. I mentioned it in the synopsis, but if you are a teenager and you are about to go for a kiss, a boat with lights on it is not going to pull you away from that. It's not. No. It's not going to. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. They were inches away, and he's like, "What's that?
Yeah.
Some lights? Okay, now.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen."
Unless there are like mermaids by this boat.
That's right.
Even then,
you're going to have to up the ante on boat with lights. Yeah. It just isn't going to be enough. It isn't. Since she clearly ran a mile for that kiss, like she ran for a mile and he's just waiting on her and they don't talk.
Yeah.
Like,
I have that written down, and I guess maybe it's more of a once in a lifetime. But like, was this all planned? And like, was she running late? Like what?
We have a kiss scheduled.
We gotta. It's right before the mermaid boat comes in, so that we can sneak it in. Oh no, I'm running late. I gotta run. I don't know. I was confused with the whole thing. I don't really understand Randy Travis's store in general, but I do know it can't possibly work, right?
No.
Like it can't possibly be a thing that is successful.
It's a mercantile. Those stores in the South still exist in small towns.
Of course.
They do. They 100% do. I'm from a town called Hopkins, South Carolina.
Hopkins.
It's got one traffic light in it still, I believe.
That's one too many if you ask me.
It's a Ace hardware store now, but when I was there, it was called Horse and Garden.
Yeah.
Which you would go for your horses or for your garden or for your farm.
And dry goods emporium.
We would walk, and when they got sounds like I'm 100 years old. They got a vending machine. It was a quarter, and that was a huge deal on Saturday. We would walk up. We called it Horse World. We'd walk up to Horse World. We'd put a quarter in the machine, and I'd get a Dr. Pepper out of the deal. Like I'm serious. Like I've driven by it like in the last couple of years. It's an Ace hardware store now, but it's still like a general store basically.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Fantastic. One thing that I appreciate about this town is that they don't just give away standing ovations.
Yes, this is one of my favorites.
My guy came up there. He did a wonderful old Cajun Christmas tune.
That's right.
And his family gives him a standing O.
Everybody
and at
else
that point, you
seated.
think, oh, they're going to come up behind. Nope, they are sitting down.
Yeah.
We will clap, but
No, it's a no.
wasn't. It's
didn't
not
earn
standing
it.
O. Listen, it's not standing ovation worthy. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
not.
If we did it every time, it wouldn't be special.
This wouldn't be special.
The original Broadway cast of Phantom was there last week. That's the problem. they were in town one night only, and it was packed.
And even Benny sat through that. Benny was like, no.
Yeah.
Not my Phantom.
Not my Phantom.
That's all I got.
Hey, 2013, where it's impossible to find a tablet. That's my favorite thing in the world. Tablets are the Tickle Me Elmo of 2013. There's 100 brands of tablets. She can't find one in New York City. In New York City, she cannot find a tablet, people. That is a thing that happens in this movie. This is probably a once in a lifetime, but it made me go, wait, what, out loud. So I have to say in the wait, what. What is the couple making a baby in the elevator? What is going on there? There is in the elevator, in both scenes in this office, there is a couple, and they are, making out is putting it like, they are really having at it back there. And I don't understand it. What's happening there?
PDAs on the 5th floor, I guess. They were heading there. Yeah, that's never explained.
I just, my mouth just gaped open. I didn't know what was going on. And
they brought it back.
They brought it back for a second go around.
If you're going to make it a comedy bit, it's got to be 3.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly
Because at this point, we're just confused.
The way you do it is she ends up going back to New York, and she opens up the elevator, she sees them, and then she realizes the Bayou's the place.
That's
for them.
right. Well,
Or they're making out in the audience of the pageant.
There you are.
They're sharing a set with Cinemax, and they just, it's just, this is where they cross paths. There's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
They'll just keep it in. It's fine. Just keep it in.
Sorry, is this the Red Shoe Diaries audition? Oh, sorry.
My bad. So my man, first of all, I need you to know something about the kid, Zach. He may be getting made fun of at school, but don't you worry, because we got a real Doogie Howser on our hands. It's December. He's 7 and in the 3rd grade. That boy is a savant. He is just out kicking his class right now. If he is 7 in December and in the 3rd grade, he's a grade and a half ahead of everyone right now. So good on you, Zach. And also, Mom, look, I'm not going to give you a hard time for working hard and being a big boss man Jeffries. What I am going to give you a hard time about is your kid is getting made fun of at school, and he sucks at soccer, and you signed him up for a pageant in a town he's never been to. That is on you. That's not on anybody else. That's on you. That's a bad mom alert right there. That is brutal.
Also on her is that she can't give a PowerPoint presentation without having her iPhone calls
That's right.
somehow interrupted.
And that gets her a promotion. I want to be clear. Like that kind of work gets her a production. Can we talk about a pageant that has multiple days of tryouts? but only has 3 chairs in the whole room. Like, there are kids sharing chairs. There are 3 chairs, and there are kids literally sharing chairs to watch the second day of tryouts for a pageant, which is virtually wordless aside from a few songs. 2 days. 2 days of tryouts for this thing.
I would just like to formally request an internal investigation on this classroom or on this play. Like, HR needs to get in there quick because these kids are brutal.
They are. Yes.
Wow,
I know kids
Yes.
are brutal, but this was next level.
Yeah. Does Caleb, Tyler Hilton's character, does he ever work? Does he works for the National Department of Wildlife, and he wears his uniform all the time, but he does everything aside. He sets up for a bonfire. He chases the kid when he gets lost. He takes him to the auditions. Is this guy ever going to do his job, or is this just small town living?
He's the Barney Fife.
That's
basically.
right. He just is there. He's hanging out, doing whatever he wants. There's a point in the movie where Zach runs away when he fails his audition for like the 3rd time or something. They just keep punishing him.
Brutal callback.
And they say, I know where he is. Caleb, he's like, I know where he is. He's on a dock that he literally has never been to in his life. I don't know how they knew he was there. I don't know why, if there's some sort of telepathy going on, but they just knew that he would know about this dock that he's never been to.
Big Otis Redding fan.
That's right, huge. Then they show up. Tyler Hilton and Hilarie Burton both show up, and Hilarie Burton's like, let me talk to him. So Hilarie Burton goes, and they have a very sincere, heart-to-heart mom and son talk. And here's what I'm here to tell you. I don't know exactly how much room you need to give a mom and her son for that private heart-to-heart talk. I just know it's more than he's giving in the scene. He stays on the dock and just stands there like he's an usher at a wedding while they
At the very least, turn around,
like
right?
turn around, act like you're doing. Back up off the dock into the. Just give
Look
them
at
some
your
more
phone.
room.
Yeah, do what most people
Something.
do where they're just like,
Something.
hello, what's
Give
this on
them
my
s-
phone? And
give-
also this here?
Yes. It is absurd. Just have some decorum, for crying out loud. And lastly, the audacity of Zach to ask or request that Santa provides snow to prove he's real is just absurd. This is like the Israelites in the desert receiving manna and being like, we want some quail. You tell me that guy turned water into hot chocolate and he's like, make it snow. Get out of here, you spoiled, rotten brat.
That's right.
You just got free hot chocolate out of thin air. It's Louisiana. Get out of here with your snow request.
I know you part of the Red Sea, but
Any chance we could have not manna for one day?
like just for the love, please.
Give a man a hot chocolate, he lasts a day.
That's right.
Give a man a snow, you're Santa.
He can
That's
make
all
his
I've
own
learned.
hot cocoa in the snow.
That's right.
Right?
Gee, come on, Zach, be better.
It's time for Once in a Lifetime, the part of the show we wonder what could have been. Alonzo, what you got?
Well, clearly, Papa Noel's main function in this movie is to be Zach's therapist, and so I'm just wondering, like, what happens in the off season? Does Lucy set up the booth with the 5 cents? Like, clearly, this kid has a lot more baggage to unpack that he needs to deal with after the Christmas season has happened, and so with his counselor leaving town, I don't know what is going to happen.
Mine is Papa Noel Jesus.
The Papa, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
That's
right. What?
Father the Papa.
What? Or what? Like
We've done this before.
There's a lot there.
Yes.
And I understand when you start to think about Santa and, he can see you when you're sleeping, blah, blah, blah. And you, at a certain point, you're like, well, there has to, are there any limitations? But I didn't think I'd see straight from the old scripture, the old book, the old
The New Testament.
the old miracle there.
That's right. Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming.
Followed by just a glint in his eyes, he says, I'm Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's right.
But he can only do it with the hot cocoa.
That's
He
right.
can't
No,
create
can't
anything
make any
else.
snow.
Well, it would have been even more telling is if he went, I am Santa Claus. That's right.
Yeah.
I am who I am.
My question is, Hilarie Burton's character does not give the requisite 72 hours around the holidays to her boss. She calls him on the night of Christmas Eve, and she leaves him a voicemail. Now, this guy has promoted her in spite of whatever that presentation was at the beginning of the movie.
Right, that
and
she bails in the middle of.
And there's a brand new project. She just left him in the lurch. Like, I want to know what he did. Like, I want to see some deleted scenes with his response. What happens there? I'm very curious.
She doesn't even really quit. She just says, my vacation's going to last a long time. So it's like she's basically daring him to fire her.
That's the most offensive maybe part of this movie is like once you get to the small town where nothing ever changes, you just won't want anything else. Like that line is like a very Southern, like once you're here, you'll get it. Like that line is definitely just offensive. Like it's just like when I tell people, like, have you ever been to New York at Christmas time? Like it's glorious. It's much better than a small town on Christmas. But that line is the ultimate, like, just screw you to the big city. That's what that is, for sure.
My thought is that if she can get fired, then she can also collect unemployment. So she's being very,
She spent all of her savings, tens of dollars, on half of that.
Half of Randy Travis's Shore.
Yeah,
exactly.
a store that we didn't even mention in this entire podcast. He's just buying everything in the store himself.
That's right. In my way, what? I don't know what he's doing, but it can't work, right?
He's buying the things himself to make people feel better about their products.
Which is the twist ending to that terrible movie Pottersville with Michael Shannon. I don't know if you ever saw that one, but
Michael Shannon in a terrible movie. Wait a minute.
I beg you, yes. Don't.
Wow, man. I'm a big Michael Shannon fan, but I'll skip that one.
We did, everybody.
We did it.
Man, only one more of these ones
before Countdown to Christmas.
It's hard to believe.
Fast and Furious.
It's hard to believe. Alonzo, do you have any words of wisdom you want to leave with people in this wonderful crisp fall day here in October?
Is UNICEF still a thing? Like when I was a kid, we all on Halloween we went around and we collected for UNICEF, and I don't know, like
the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund is still a thing. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So whether or not children come to your house on Halloween with those little orange boxes, just maybe make a donation to UNICEF.
As of this recording, you can get your gift doubled today if you donate today. So go and donate. There you have it.
How about that,
man? What a callback.
I love that your words of wisdom was, it's UNICEF. You're giving this a lot of thought.
I have a question of wisdom.
We're getting late in the season.
That's
people.
right. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yep. Next week is just going to be good luck. Good luck, everyone.
Batten down the hatches?
That's right. We'll be back tomorrow with some more fall fun. Mm-hmm. But until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast. It's presented by Philo TV. It's produced by Brandon Gray and recorded live in Greenville, South Carolina. Set decor is by Plum at Haywood Mall. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on Bramble Jam Podcast Network, you can go to bramblejampodcast.com.